Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Morgan Price, and we are doing some short tutorials for Stationeers. So, for this first one, I intend to do an airlock. As you can see, I've got a nice little starter structure set up here. And I'll explain the differences between a standard run-of-the-mill airlock and an advanced airlock and go through the parts you're going to need. That's that cabinet ahead there. But first, some things to think about. Plan your doors. Not every door has the same footprint. Um, like the airlock doors and blast doors are wider than a composite door. A glass door is also wider than a composite door, so you can't always put them in the same exact places that you would, and you have to plan your items around what you're working for. The labeler is your friend. So this guy, which I actually have one here, this is a creative world, so I can do whatever I need to do to show you what's necessary. The labeler here is going to be what you use to differentiate what particular parts go where. Now, airlocks are slow. No matter what, they're going to take a little bit of time. Even the fastest one takes about 45 seconds. Um, so, this one should be kind of a bit of a no-brainer, but pressurize after you set everything up. Um, and I would also recommend place the APC, the area power controller, outside. So what that'll allow you to do is say you take your starter base and you let it go defunct. Power runs out. It's just going to sit there. What you'll do is you'll plug a battery into the airlock and you'll be able to have access without having to power the rest of the building. So let's kind of get into the building. I typically set up my airlocks with just composite doors, but here's the things you have. The things you must have: an active vent, pipe, cable for wire or cable wiring for power. A power controller is very handy. It's not 100% necessary, but you kind of want it just to have battery backup. An airlock console board, a console, a sensor, and doors. Now you can choose your doors, like we have this guy here, which is an airlock door, and this is where I'm going to show you why the footprint is much larger than your standard composite door. And I just opened the wrong thing on accident. So see, I can put one on the outside, but because the battery is there, I can't put one on the inside. So yeah, we're going to pop that back there, and we're going to grab these guys. You can also use blast doors, but they have the identical problem to the pardon me. They have the identical problem to the airlock doors. The thing about blast doors and airlock doors is they can handle much, much higher pressures. But if you are just running with, say, these doors, and you're just running at normal pressures, you should be okay and you shouldn't blow these guys out. This guy here is the composite door that I was telling you about, and what it's going to allow you to do is just, okay, there we go. Sorry, lighting helps. That other door or the composite door is going to have a narrower opening, and you can run your wires right along the edges. Whereas with the glass door, yeah, it's not going to interfere with the battery here, but you can't run cabling right there. In fact, what we're going to do real quickly, I'm going to lay out the cable before I actually get things started here. Let's grab that guy. There we go. I have a mod in that allows me to have cable stacks of up to 200. So where you're going to want to first start out, you just find where your power outlets are going to be for these guys, and you'll build off of that. So, one thing that it took me a while to find out is if you are laying cable, keep the wire cutters in your offhand, and that will allow you to run splices. So, you'll be able to put a splice right here. And yeah, so it allows you to actually run a splice in directly rather than having to cycle through with the mouse wheel to get what you want. Um, so yeah, you still use the mouse wheel for most things, but you've only got you you can make a three-way splice just by splicing in a single curved piece. No, no. Um, so for a situation like what I got going on right there, I'm tapping C to get it to rotate around. But you can use your page up, page down, home, end, and end buttons, and that will also get you the rotations. And it will only rotate along a particular single plane. It won't rotate along anything else. So now I put a four-way splitter in here because I'm also going to show you the advanced airlock. The advanced airlock will have two actual active vents. And what I'm going to do here is grab this guy out again. We're going to toss this guy here. And this is an optional bit. This is not something that actually has to be there, but a lot of people put in one of the flashing lights. So now that we've done the cabling, or at least the starting cabling, we're going to put this guy... no. Okay, come on. There we go. I apologize. I tend to talk to myself a little bit while I'm doing things. So we're going to grab the power controller here. And so I'll just run this off of this. I won't connect this into base power. I could technically run a power cable off of this, which I have a creative RTG just to power the light. A little bit overkill. So your power controllers, you're going to want to use your crowbar on those and pry them open. And unfortunately, I made a slight mistake in my setup. Not with within the game. When I was setting up to record, I totally forgot to put on my timer. So I might go a little bit over the 10 minutes I want. So, okay. Now, while I'm sitting here, there are things you can do to assemble and disassemble these. You actually need a blowtorch to assemble and a wrench to disassemble. But this little wand tool I have in my hand here allows me to move from state to state to state within something I'm building, which, I tend to run some of my wires into walls. Of course, it's not going to cooperate with me because why would it? Anyway, I tend to run my cables through these solid cubes. So, okay, now we've got this guy in. Let's put this guy back, grab this guy back out, build that guy up. Okay, so we've got this guy in. We're going to half build the doors. Now is where we need to grab these guys. So we're going to put this guy back. We're going to put that cable coil back. We're going to grab our active vent and our piping. And yeah, there's a lot of piping there. I actually don't need that much. But so, one thing to know about a standard airlock. Since you're not necessarily piping back into your base, you can get away with just using the pipe itself to hold the volume of the airlock, one pipe will actually do. So that right there will make a functional airlock. Put that back, grab a sensor. You always want a gas sensor, and boop, boop, there we go. Get up there, thank you. And our console, this guy. Now, thing to remember about consoles is they come in parts. So you're always going to need a card that goes into these consoles to make them work. Whatever that console setup may be, grab this guy here because you actually need glass. But yeah, so alright. The doors themselves take plastic sheets and glass sheets in order to build. So stage 1 is the door kit. Stage 2, you use plastic sheets and a welding torch in order to run it, or in order to set it up. Before we do that, we're going to go pop over here, toss this guy in, grab this flashing light as it's the last little bit of extra that we need, and pop this guy here. So, alright. That's the basics of the airlock. We're going to fill this guy here. We're going to flip on the switch. And then we're going to finish off this guy just so he's done. Ta-da! You have technically a functional airlock. But you still need to set up everything here. And this is where your labeler is going to come in handy. Now, naming conventions, go with what you want. But honestly, make them easy to remember, easy to identify, and there is a pearl of wisdom I heard, and that unfortunately is my GPS. If you heard it at all, hopefully you didn't. But anyway, a pearl of wisdom that I heard is stupid names make for stupid mistakes. So, alright. Exterior. Of course, I spell it wrong. Alright. Simple, easy naming convention. Just name it where it's supposed to be. Alright. Of course, I am going to interior. I'm going to misspell everything because why not? So, and now something that a lot of people, it's one of those, it makes a lot of sense when you think about it, but people don't normally think about it. So, name your consoles too. You can name the sensors. Basically any part that you place down, you can name. So that will be the airlock sensor. Alright, with that taken care of, now is where we get to go to the setup. You're going to go into this little menu here. And of course, you've just set up with various names. So, exterior door, that's that one. Nice and locked. Interior door, that's that one. It's now red. Active vent, it will be locked out from being able to be used. The sensor, and here is where the optional things go. The flashing light, you can have that on or off. It doesn't really matter. But a lot of people tend to have them on. So, the standard airlock is a bit of a dummy thing. So, it is set to where the internal pressure is always 101.0 kPa. And it cycles to 0 kPa. The advanced airlock will actually, you can do other setups. And I'm going to press F5 and pressurize this room so I can technically get inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13. So, if you are in creative mode and you tap F5, you will actually spawn a cube worth of breathable air at 20 degrees Celsius. It is a oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide mix. You can actually check that with this guy here. See? Oh, there's no carbon dioxide. I thought they had CO2 in it. But it's a nitrogen oxygen mix. You can get something roughly similar out of oxide ice. It's a little bit heavier on the oxygen. Anyway, so I overpressurized in here quite a bit. So we're going to pop this out, let some of that air out just a little bit. Be careful doing this, by the way. If you have a bunch of stuff, oh yeah, see, something's groaning. That means I overpressurized it. All right, 3, 2, 1, and close. Yeah, that's good right there. That should be about enough. Okay, so as I was saying, let's put this away and put this away. So your airlock is going to be different depending on what you're going to do. Now, the advanced airlock, super duper simple. Similar to this, the only addition you have is the passive vents that you will put on the ends of the active vents, and you're going to have a second active vent in the airlock that will manage the outside pressure with the inside pressure. Now, we're going to turn this guy off. Let's put this back over here. Now, since I don't immediately have, I don't have an atmosphere outside, so it doesn't make sense for me to actually build this as a standard. It won't make sense for me to actually go and, I'll show you the setup, but it's not going to be something that I actually set up all the way. So we got this guy here. We're going to turn it on, and it's going to flash an error at us because we haven't programmed anything here. And we're going to take this guy, and all that we would wind up doing is resetting these. See, as you have the internal pressure will be 101, and we're around there. We're at 94. And you can set the external pressure to, say you're on Europa, it would be 42 out, so 43, just slightly above. And then you would just go through and set your doors just like you did before. So exterior, interior. This one, no, actually that one is not exterior, it's interior. That one's exterior, this one's interior, flashing light. Pull your data card, ta-da! Okay, that is a 1x1 airlock. In advanced airlock. Though, like I said, you don't actually need the advanced airlock on the moon. You can get away with just regular ones unless inside your base you are keeping one type of atmosphere separate from another atmosphere, because there is a race that breathes volatiles, so it breathes hydrogen. Anyway, with that, thank you so much for watching. I've gone a little bit over the time I intended, but that is how you set up a basic airlock. Yeah, there's more that you can do with the advanced logic and the like, but for the most part, it's put in a pipe, put in an active vent, put in the airlock controller. You get it all in your starter crate. Anyway, happy playing. Let me know what you think by clicking that thumbs up button, leaving a comment down below, and please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.